Imagine a world where you're never sick, your bones are strong, and your cells are healthy. That's the world of vitamin D, a nutrient that's essential for many aspects of our health. But how do we get enough vitamin D, and what are the benefits of taking it? In this video, we'll explore everything you need to know about vitamin D, from its sources to its health benefits. Stick around to the end, you don't want to miss a thing. Before diving right in, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We really do appreciate it. The D in vitamin D stands for dehydrocholesterol, a compound that is found in the skin and is converted to vitamin D3 when exposed to sunlight. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that is essential for many bodily functions, including bone health, immune function, and cell growth. Vitamin D is also known as the sunshine vitamin because the body can produce vitamin D3 when the skin is exposed to sunlight. Vitamin D is produced in the skin when it is exposed to ultraviolet B or UVB radiation from the sun. The UVB radiation converts a precursor molecule called 7-dehydrocholesterol into vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is then transported to the liver and kidneys, where it is converted into its active form calcitriol. Calcitriol is a hormone that plays a vital role in calcium and phosphorus metabolism. It is also involved in immune function, muscle function, and cell growth. The discovery of vitamin D is a story that spans several centuries. In the early 1600s, physicians began to notice a disease in children that was characterized by soft, deformed bones. This disease was later named rickets. In the early 1800s, researchers discovered that cod liver oil could be used to treat rickets. However, it was not until the early 1900s that scientists identified the active ingredient in cod liver oil that was responsible for curing rickets. This substance was named vitamin D. In 1922, Edward Mallenby, a British physiologist, conducted an experiment in which he fed dogs a diet that was deficient in vitamin D. The dogs developed rickets. However, when Mallenby added cod liver oil to the dog's diet, their rickets healed. In 1925, Harry Steenbach, an American biochemist, discovered that ultraviolet or UV light could be used to convert a precursor molecule called ergosterol into vitamin D. This discovery led to the development of fortified foods and vitamin D supplements. In 1936, Adolf Windaus, a German chemist, synthesized vitamin D3, the form of vitamin D that is produced in the skin. Windaus was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1938 for his work on vitamin D. The discovery of vitamin D was a major breakthrough in medical science. Vitamin D deficiency is now a preventable disease, and vitamin D supplements are widely available. Vitamin D is an essential nutrient that plays a vital role in human health. Vitamin D can be obtained from the diet and from sunlight exposure. Dietary sources of vitamin D include fatty fish, for example, salmon, tuna, mackerel, egg yolks, fortified milk and milk products, fortified orange juice, mushrooms. Some types of mushrooms are typically high in vitamin D2. Portobello mushrooms, white mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, cremini mushrooms, oyster mushrooms. Sunlight exposure is the best way to get vitamin D, but it is important to get sun exposure safely. Avoid sun exposure during the middle of the day. We never recommend applying sunscreen to your skin no matter what the label claims. There are two main forms of vitamin D, vitamin D2, ergocalciferol, and vitamin D3, cholecalciferol. Vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 is found in plant-based foods. Vitamin D3 is also produced in the skin in response to sunlight exposure. Vitamin D3 from the sheep's skin called lanolin and is a waxy substance extracted from sheep's wool. It is used in a variety of products, including cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and food. Lanolin can be contaminated with pesticides and other chemicals, as sheep are treated with these chemicals to protect them from pests and diseases. Lanolin can also turn rancid or oxidize on contact with air. Some manufacturers often add butylated hydroxytoluene or BHT, a synthetic antioxidant, to extend its shelf life. BHT is considered safe in small amounts, but it can accumulate in human tissue and there are concerns about its long-term health effects. Plant-based sources of vitamin D are becoming increasingly popular as people are becoming more aware of the ethical and environmental concerns associated with the production of lanolin. Vitamin D2 can be extracted from mushrooms, but it is not as effective as vitamin D3 in raising blood levels of vitamin D. One 2022 study in the National Library of Medicine found that vitamin D3 was more effective than vitamin D2 at raising vitamin D levels in the blood in people with vitamin D deficiency. Another study found that vitamin D3 was more effective than vitamin D2 at preventing bone loss in older adults. Vitamin D3 can be extracted from algae, which is a 100% plant-based source of this nutrient. Algae are grown under controlled conditions without the use of pesticides, making them a sustainable and ethical choice for vitamin D supplementation. Vitamin D3 is also made from brewer's yeast, another plant-based source. However, brewer's yeast is not as suitable as vitamin D3 from algae. Algae are a safe and sustainable source of vitamin D3, which is the most effective form of vitamin D. If you're looking for a plant-based alternative to lanolin, algae-derived vitamin D3 is a great option. The recommended daily intake of vitamin D for adults is 600 IU and 800 IU for older adults. However, some people may need more vitamin D, such as people with osteoporosis, people with kidney disease, and people who are taking certain medications. Dr. Stephen Gundry is one of the experts who recommend higher doses of vitamin D. He believes that adults should be taking at least 5,000 IU of vitamin D per day. He also recommends getting regular sun exposure to help the body produce its own vitamin D. There is some evidence to support Dr. Gundry's claims. For example, a 2014 study in the journal PLOS ONE found that people who took 5,000 IU of vitamin D per day had a lower risk of death from all causes than people who took 400 IU of vitamin D per day. Research on vitamin D from the University of California's San Diego School of Medicine has shown that average adults need 9,600 IU of vitamin D per day. The study published in the journal PLOS ONE in 2016 was led by Cedric Garland, Doctor of Public Health, a professor in the Department of Family Medicine and Public Health, and member of Moore's Cancer Center at UC San Diego Health. The study found that people who had blood levels of vitamin D of 40 nanograms per milliliter or higher had a lower risk of death from all causes than people who had blood levels of vitamin D below 40 nanograms per milliliter. The study also found that people who took 9,600 IU of vitamin D per day were able to achieve blood levels of vitamin D of 40 nanograms per milliliter or higher. Based on these findings, the researchers recommended that average adults take 9,600 IU of vitamin D per day. Vitamin D is essential for many aspects of human health, including bone health. Vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium and phosphorus, which are essential for bone health. Vitamin D deficiency is a major risk factor of osteoporosis, a condition that weakens bones and increases the risk of fractures. Immune function. Vitamin D plays a role in the development and function of immune cells. Vitamin D deficiency is associated with an increased risk of infections, including respiratory infections and autoimmune diseases. Cell growth and differentiation. Vitamin D is involved in the regulation of cell growth and differentiation. Vitamin D deficiency is associated with an increased risk of certain types of cancer, including colorectal cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer. Hormone production. Vitamin D is involved in the production of several hormones, including testosterone, estrogen, and insulin. Vitamin D deficiency is associated with a number of hormonal imbalances, including low testosterone levels and polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. Vitamin K2 or MK7 is an essential nutrient that plays a vital role in calcium regulation. It activates two proteins, matrix GLA protein and osteocalcin. Matrix GLA protein removes calcium from soft tissues, while osteocalcin deposits calcium in bones. This means that MK7 helps to ensure that calcium is directed to the right places in the body. This is important because too much calcium in soft tissues can lead to health problems such as heart disease and kidney stones. To think of it in a different way, imagine MK7 as a traffic cop for calcium. It tells calcium where to go and where not to go. This helps to keep the body healthy and functioning properly. Vitamin D3 ensures that calcium is absorbed easily. Mk7 activates the protein osteocalcin, which integrates calcium into bone. Without D3 and K2, calcium cannot do its job effectively. Vitamin D is a powerful nutrient that can help us live healthier, longer lives. By getting enough vitamin D, we can reduce our risk of chronic diseases, strengthen our bones, and boost our immune system. So how can you make sure you're getting enough vitamin D? Here are a few tips. Get regular sun exposure. Vitamin D is produced in the skin when it's exposed to sunlight. Eat foods rich in vitamin D, such as fatty fish, eggs, and fortified foods. Take a vitamin D supplement, especially if you don't get enough sun exposure or eat many foods rich in vitamin D. Vitamin D is an essential nutrient for our health. By getting enough vitamin D, we can improve our overall well-being and live longer, healthier lives. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave us a comment. Tell us how we are doing and let us know your ideas on future content you would like to see us cover. Join us in the 4th video of this series, Vitamin E. Until next time, be happy and stay healthy.